Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Friday. All right, guys, so thank you to everyone who joined us for Hot Messy Topics with So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. Now we're back to talk about some Real Housewives of New Jersey drama because it looks like the cast is reacting to the Gorgas posting on the day of Teresa's wedding. Now, we saw a little bit of this in the Teresa wedding special, but also Carlos King is chiming into the conversation because Teresa recently said she needs to keep this job. She has a daughter going into law school. She has a lot of bills, so she does not want to go anywhere. And Carlos King, who has been close to the cast in the past, is now entering the chat. So we're going to catch a glimpse of that. We have a lot to go over. But before we jump in, do all the YouTube things, smash that like button, show some love, and let's do the damn thing.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys. So before we get into all of this, I wanted to play this Carlos King video really quick on All About the Real Housewives. Hold on. So All About the Real Housewives is always delivering great tea. This is what they posted.
Listen. This show means a lot to Melissa in a very different way of what it means to Teresa. I think, to your point, listen, I think anybody who watches the show can see that Melissa wants to be the top dog, and she has trouble with Teresa constantly winning in the end. And this, I'm gonna tell you, it was the season where Danielle Staub, one of my favorites of all time.
Yes,
it was the season where Danielle Staub, unfortunately, Melissa, like, Teresa told me to pull the hair. What I saw was this excitement of Melissa getting the tea. Like, well, she did what? And I think in Melissa's mind, she was like, oh, baby, it's going down. Yes. Teresa. And look, I think a lot of people thought Teresa would never recover from it. But one thing about Teresa, the reason why Teresa always wins in the end is because she cops to it. She wasn't like, I never said that. That's not. She was like, you right. Middle finger to the camera, like, wow, really?
Yeah.
She felt bad, and to her credit, she apologized to Marge. And I think that was the moment that I saw, like, oh, Melissa really takes satisfaction in seeing you lose. But baby, Teresa, for some reason, because she's genuine, right? She always wins in the end. Yeah. Always.
Oh. She's authentic. And we actually just found out. Do you remember that scene where Margaret pushes Danielle's fiance in the pool?
Yes.
So we just found out. We just actually listened to an episode of Melissa's podcast where she says that Joe Gorga told Margaret to do that. So
what?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so there's always things that are happening behind the scenes, but Carlos King, again, was so close to the cast, so he knows. And you know what's funny is, just to kind of piggyback off of what he's saying about Teresa, Kim Diaz said the same thing, saying that Teresa has a lot of pull with the network. Even Andy Cohen mentioned that at one point he was trying to get Caroline Manzo onto the show, and he tried passing the idea by Teresa. Teresa, at first, he thought she was okay with it, and she was like, absolutely not. Do not bring her in here. I don't trust her. I don't want to film with her. It's not happening. Now we know that Teresa's changed her tune a little bit, saying why she needs her job, and because she has to put Gia through college. Plus, she has 4 daughters. But I want to get to the cast reacting to Joe Gorga for a second, because they're not very happy with him. Now, the cast was reacting to Melissa and Joe Gorga's social media antics during Teresa's wedding. And this happened on the Real Housewives of New Jersey after show. Dolores Catania and Jennifer Aiden slammed the Gorgas antics, and Dolores in particular took major issue with Joe and Melissa's attempts to deflect and prove themselves as the victims on social media. If you don't recall the night of Teresa and Louis' rehearsal dinner, Joe and Melissa kept posting on social media about how blood doesn't make you family. That would be this. They also boasted about real family while spending time with Melissa's family. Okay, Melissa shared video clips of her and Joe dancing with her entire family, claiming this was better than any wedding or rehearsal dinner. Jennifer caught wind of the post on the way home from Teresa and Louis' rehearsal dinner, and she tried to keep them off of Teresa's radar so that the drama did not affect her wedding weekend. The mom of 5 explained, We're coming home from the rehearsal dinner. We're on the party bus, and I sat down and I started, scrolling, and I saw a big group picture of Joe Gorga with all of Melissa's family. And it said, "This is us." And it said, "Blood does not make you family." That was one. Then there was someone in Melissa's camp that was posting them dancing and said, "Way better than a wedding." So my face just dropped, and Teresa sat down next to me. She goes, "What? What did you see?" And I just put the phone down, and I'm like, "Babe, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it." And she's like, "No, I want to see." So I showed her, and she was like, "All right, I'm good. It's all good, Jen. Everything is as it should be." I'm like, "I'm really sorry, babe." Now, Teresa admitted that Joe and Melissa's social media posts were hurtful, but Melissa does not want to take any accountability for the post, saying, "I didn't post it. My cousin posted it. It was like the night before the wedding." Jackie Goldschneider and Margaret Josephs were also quick to defend Joe and Melissa, saying they didn't need to, but I could feel I could see their pain. Like, you do that from pain. That's not from a place of celebrating. No one was celebrating. Jackie said, while Marge added, "I think it was hard. It's sad. I'm sure Teresa felt sad also." Dolores agreed that Melissa and Joe's posts were unnecessary. However, she disagrees with Teresa's take that the Gorgas were not hurting over skipping Teresa and Louis' wedding. "I don't think the post was necessary, and now let's move on." Teresa interjected by saying they were not hurting. They were dancing and saying, "What a great time they're having, and this is so much better than a wedding." When you have to prove something like that, then maybe you are, and you're just trying to cover it up, is how Dolores responded to this. But Melissa did enter the chat because, well, as Melissa would, and she said she didn't even call to be like, "I want you guys there." I get she was probably busy the whole day, but for us, it was a flat day. Joe and I spent the day alone together, and he was really sad. And then my family called, and they were all having a backyard barbecue party and just trying to show him we're your family. So she's trying to say that we weren't celebrating. It was my cousin who posted this. And other people are like, "No, girl, you know that your cousin probably asked you for permission." This is another one of those moments when it comes to the Real Housewives of New Jersey that it's a matter of she said, or he said, she said. And it's really hard to get on the right side of this because it's just the never-ending drama, even with Teresa storming out. Now, Jeff Lewis also confirmed the Real Housewives of New Jersey cast is on a social media / podcast freeze until after the season 13 reunion. And this is what he said. "All of Jersey's castmates are on a publicity freeze until after the reunion." He went on to explain, "I did have several conversations. I had conversations with not the EVP, but the SVP, the VP. I went down the line. Now I thought we were good in the sense of, I said, look, I have made mistakes in the past. I'm in good standing with you. I don't want to screw anything up. I promise I will adhere to your rules and boundaries." He continued by saying, "However, we have a Bravo Marshal here today, Sarah Page, my favorite Bravo Marshal." And Sarah said, "I work for NBC Bravo in the communications team, but she said, I do want to correct you. You said they're on a publicity freeze. They're not. They're on a social media ban and a podcast freeze." Okay. I mean, this came after Joe Gorga ended up telling everybody on his On Display podcast, Melissa's On Display podcast. He said this is the first time that they have been on a gag order, and that was due to Bravo. But I think right now with everybody going at each other's throats, they don't want them posting on social media. They don't want them reacting on social media. And when she corrected that they're not on a publicity freeze, I believe they can still do mainstream publicity, but they probably don't want them talking to podcasters at the moment, because usually when something goes on a podcast, somebody gets that got you moment, and then that got you moment turns into a headline, and that headline creates more drama. I see what they're doing. But guys, I don't want to just give you this information and not ask your opinion. So go ahead and comment below. What are your thoughts about what Carlos King had to say about Melissa and Teresa, the cast reacting to Melissa and Joe's social media antics on Teresa's wedding day, and then, of course, the social media podcasting ban of it all, the freeze? Comment below. Let us know. Love you.